Well, instead of starting 10 seconds early, we started a couple seconds late. So, welcome to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk, Jim McCleary, and we are going to be talking about Wilson, some club fitting, club reviews, club repairs, and stuff that we did. All next. And what's next? So I started this whole thing out. I had already done the intro. It was one of the best ones I've ever done. And Robin says, nothing's happening. And I said I hit the start. Everything was supposed to happen good. And apparently not. And what did I say? It never ends up good when she sits next to me. So guess where she's at? I'm leaving, she says. So she's going to go upstairs or go into the next room. We'll see what happens. But I suspect that it should get better from going forward. Okay, so why What's in My Drawers Golf Talk? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats. I am no different. It's about what's in my drawers in the shop. So if you would, like, subscribe, hit that stuff across the bottom, hit that notification bell. That way a lot of this information gets out to the YouTube universe. And I haven't said it in a while, but if you would and you like it, Golf Centric Whiskey channel, we have Pars and Pours. Please join me over there. Okay, let's get started now that we've done all that. Remember me telling you about those Mira KM700s and the very flammable ferrules that we were doing? Well, they're done. All right, they are done. And what we did is we used those as shafts. You can't tell what they really are, but they're the Zelos 7s and Zelos 8s. The 8s were for the wedges and the 7s were for the clubs. And remember when we were talking about he wanted a D0, maybe shoot for a D0. He wanted something a little bit higher. So I put 4 grams in there and I got D1. So that worked out pretty good. So I like that. And instead of called slick grips, they're called stick grips. When I looked at it, I even had to look at it a couple of times to see. But if you look at it's got some kind of almost like a golf course layout or some wavy appearance. And once I got them on and I let them sit and then get all the fluid off of it after it evaporated, they were pretty sticky. And not sticky like stick to you, but they had a tremendous amount of grip. Okay, a tremendous amount of grip. So not a bad little grip at all. So kind of like those. So we add a little bit. We got the right swing weight. Put them in the machine. Bend them to the lie angle that he wanted. Check the loft angles for him to make sure they were all good. And clean them up with a little bit of. I had to open up a new can of car wax. Just started right now. Made it to the end of the year. So one whole every set we do, we put a little bit of wax on it, and it's amazing the difference in the wax and what it left behind. One little thing just to show you guys, I got a little project going on with a barrel, and that's what it looks like right now. That's going to be an end table when it's all said and done. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, where did my stuff go? There we go. We're back. We are being very festive again. All right, so we had all of that. So it turned out I liked the set. It was very, very consistent. Everything was where it came out to be, and we have since shipped it off. I now have another set that just came in that is from Utah. So we're going to have to see what I'm going to have to do with that. I believe they're Callaways, I think. So we're going to have to see about that. All right, no fittings this week. Is this weekend or the weekend prior we were out. And we had one cancel on us. That doesn't happen very often, but we had one cancel. And so that is a kind of a freebie week. Got some stuff cleaned up, that kind of stuff. So that's what we're doing. And this week it's all in the shop, so we'll see what we can get a hold of. I plan on doing a review of those square to squares, and we'll see what I can make out of these golf clubs. And I did a little bit extra. I took the flammable ferrules and I did a little extra and I'm going to make a video out of it. So we got that going for us. All right. So, what's next? Wilson. Wilson came to visit. We now have a new Wilson rep. His name is Grant. Grant actually has, I won't go through his entire background, but he's been in the golf industry for some time. He is married with a couple kids, or with a kid that I'm aware of. And his wife was also in the industry, and apparently she is one heck of a golfer and did some collegiate time in a nice college, very nice college, one that you'd have to be a very respectable golfer to be on. So pretty good there. Nice guy. Very straightforward. I think we're going to like him a lot. Knows a little bit about the equipment, and he likes being part of a family atmosphere. So I think he's going to fit in just fine. And I think once he gets settled, because he's newly moved, when you do those things, it takes you about good 6 to 8 months to really get settled in. Once he gets past that time frame, I think he'll take off like a shot. So I can't show you anything because I'm under embargo. So any of this new stuff that has come out is under embargo, including if you're a big internet follower of golf, some of the pictures of the new Quantum made it out because they were being played at the last golf tournament. So if you're interested in seeing what one might look like, go there. All right. But however, I have to follow the rules. I don't want to get in trouble because I want to maintain a good relationship with all the companies. So I can't show you pictures. However, I will tell you this. Just as we all expected, it is a new Dynapower forged, a new Dynaforged, and we always wondered about whether or not the forged, the cavity back, the blade, and all those would change with it, because sometimes they run a little bit longer. Not this time. So, and I got a special one after this. So let me start with the blade. The blade and the cavity back are extraordinarily similar to one another, and they look freaking cool. All right. Somebody has taken the time, and it appears to have maybe just a longer blade, which this particular blade from the last model looks like that too. But now, instead of this massive chrome color or chroming, it is a dull satiny finish, and it has this angle in it, and it's a good look. Like we've been talking about the industrialized look in a lot of golf clubs. So this is not going to be too far from that mark. The cavity back is going to have that same angle in it with a slightly deeper cavity. Now, not super deep like a forgiving players club. It's going to be very small. It's a player's cavity, and it's going to have, what we're going to say, new traditional lofts, right? It's going to have, I believe it's going to have a 46-degree pitching wedge and maybe a 27-degree 5-iron. So you can work out the math all the way down. These things look cool. I have to tell you, they look extraordinarily cool. The cavity back has a slightly wider sole. The blade is less intimidating in this upcoming model than it is in here, where they're butter knife small, that all kind of thing, and they're made for the top 1%. These things are probably still play like that, but they look a lot more forgiving. They look a little bit more friendly, and they will look stupid good in the bag. I am here to tell you, I like that one a lot. Okay, they look very, very good. However, I don't think that's going to be the crown jewel. The crown jewel will be fought between the next two irons I'm going to tell you about. The first one is going to be the Dynaforged. The Dynaforged is they're taking that same shape, that angled cut into the cavity, and they're progressing it all the way through. Now, in the Dynaforged, it's a slightly taller blade. It is a slightly deeper cavity, and it has some chroming on the back, but the satiny finish around it, and it gives it this deeper appearance when they put the badge in the cavity. And no power holes. Okay. No more power holes, none of that stuff. And they're just going with hot faces, getting a lot of that accomplished. Okay. And they're using their version of AI to help them design some of this stuff out, and not bad. All right. And it looks really nice. It's not as rounded. The angle that's at the bottom, and it has a really nice radius sole. All three of them, four of them, very nice radius soles. That I'm kind of tripped on that one. Anyway, for instance, so on this one, see, I call this a traditional shape. I think that's a really good shape. I think that's the way it should be. Right? None of that. Okay. And this is the Dynaforged. So take this part out and dull it up a little bit. Keep this part nice and shiny. That part goes to like a satiny finish, no holes. And you see this little, where it goes from here and then it goes up. There's more of that. There's more of that a little bit higher in here. And because of the way that it's designed, this doesn't appear to be as tall. Although I think it's a cosmetic thing. I think it probably is. Okay. And it probably is right here. Looks great. I am absolutely excited to see what this is going to do when it comes out. I think it's going to be it could be a best in class. That's all based on how it performs. Okay. But from a looks point of view, it's right up there with the rest of them. Now, my favorite, and I think is going to be an absolute contender in a lot of bags, is a new one. It's called RB, and it's basically a hollow body. I've always talked about that's the one club that they are missing in their lineup across the board. I mean, now we're talking about competing with Mizuno. We're talking about competing with Callaway. We're talking about competing with TaylorMade, all the ones that are making a hollow body, except for it's not stupid strong. All right. It is stronger than the other ones, but not stupid strong. So I think there's room. Now, the other part is he showed me the 7-iron, and this club has little offset. It's not a big, ginormous offset club. This is a player's club. Now, keep in mind, it goes blade, it goes cavity back, it's going to go this hollow body, and it's going to go Dynaforged. So you're going to go from here, almost zero offset. It's measured in single-digit millimeters, a little bit more than single-digit millimeters, a little bit more, and then you're into the Dynapowers, which have a gob of offset in it. Okay, so let me see something here. Okay, I didn't do it. But the look of this thing, it's just like all the other ones that became very, very popular. It has that bladed look, just a wider sole, maybe a little bit longer blade length. It's a couple degrees stronger across the board in all the lofts, and it has very little offset. So for all of you guys like me, that a pull is just a natural thing that happens in your swing, this could be it right here. Could be it right here. So not bad, right? Not bad at all. I am, if you can't tell, I'm kind of excited for these guys because I'm just waiting to see how they perform. If looks are any indication, we're going to see an upheaval in the pecking order of golf. Now, last but not least, they're also coming out with a fourth driver. They have, the CB, not the CB. They have the Carbon. They have the TI, which is their flagship model. They have the Max, which is maxed out everything, and then they're coming out with a Max Plus. Okay, a Max Plus, meaning a little bit bigger, it can't be bigger per se, a little more forgiving, weight's moved around a little bit more, has the same graphics, the same look, and the weights are they have some adjustable weights. You have to pull them out and put them back in. Looks to be pretty cool. So if you're looking, and it's a little more draw bias, I'm going to go with that. And so if you like that look, this one looks to be a little bit more forgiving, a little easier to use. Okay, that's what we're coming across. So look at, I'm getting a phone call at almost 6. So anywho, that's where we're at. I just keep your eyes open. The release date is going to be just prior to the PGA show. Just prior. No, from what he said, they might be at the PGA show, but they're not going to have a full-on booth. At least that's the decision right now. We'll see. Better. Okay. So that's where we got, just to take it from there. So number 1, Grant's going to turn out. I think he's going to be a top-notch guy. Number 2, I think the Wilson product, we all know that they make good irons, but I think this one is taking them from, we make really good irons. They look like a standard iron to, we make really good irons. Check out this new modern look. And then we're just hoping that the performance is with it as well. And if it is, man, oh man. Oh, and the one last thing. They are going to be offering their version of a zero torque putter. 2 of them. And one of them is in they're both mallets. And one of them is in we'll call it a Wilson, the Wilson concept look of maybe a flattened out spider. It's made in layers. And the thing I'm afraid of, and I only saw a picture of it, and he tells me it's not that way, but when the shaft looks like it's a pretty fair distance from the back end of the face. The mistake that was made in previous models, not at Wilson, but at other models trying to do zero torque, when that shaft got further away from the face, the thing wanted to look like it was shutting. Okay? He says that's not going to happen. We'll find out. The other one is a traditional, very large half moon mallet, and they're limited releasing at the beginning. I've got a couple of 35 inchers, but lefties, they come in right and left-handed. Here's the kicker. This is going to be a very, very inexpensive putter in comparison. It'll be a third of the price of the Odysseys and the Labs. So that's the reason why I got a couple in. I want to see how they're going to perform against said animals and see if they are going to do good. So if it does what it's supposed to do, we'll show him. Now, I showed him one of the original zero torques that I've had for, 30 years. and showed him what it looked, and it's ugly, but it works. So that, progress has been made as far as understanding the concepts of it. So I think, again, I'm back to thinking that Wilson's going to have a pretty good year, right? Wilson is going to have a pretty good year. All righty. So that's where we're at. I wouldn't rush out as much as I hate to, like, if you wanted to buy something for your golfer in the world, buy them a fitting so that they can get fit to that. To these new products that are coming out, unless you already know that current product that's out there actually works for you. If it actually works for you, then have at it. Doesn't matter if it's 3 years old, brand spanking new or whatever. Just get something that really works for you. All right, and that's the idea. Okay, so there we go. Let's go see what some questions might be. John Cherry, I know he's not feeling good. All right, John says he's from MB. Won't be on the call tonight. He's fighting the flu. Yep. Rough 2 days. I will watch tomorrow. Temps are here. Oh, temps here 19 degrees in the morning. So when you're in Myrtle Beach and you got a 19-degree temperature, that's going to shut down a lot of stuff. And that's pretty bad. hopefully get better. And I don't know about you guys. There's been, and just over the weekend, some folks we get to work, there's been a lot of folks coming down with the flu. I don't know if it's this cold snap that did it or somebody just walking around with the flu or whatever, but a lot of people aren't feeling it. And we got Fish Mojo 865. Looking forward to Wilson Golf News. Been playing Down Power Forge irons and Dynapower Drive this year. Great clubs, and they are. I do like them. I think they're a very nice setup. And if you had maybe the forged variety, say from a second generation ago, this one would be time for a change. I wouldn't necessarily. I'm never going to tell somebody that if they've got a 1-year-old set of clubs, should they change? And my answer will always be only if it's for the better. Yes, I would love to sell you a set of irons. Yes, I would think it would be fun for the account. However, if it's not going to make a huge, great improvement, then the answer is no. Okay. Because it is a technological advance. It just might not be a technological advance that fits with the way you play golf. Okay. So that's it. So Charlie's going to be all over me about this one because, but although he left, he's playing the CBs now and he's enjoying it and killing it. And the CBs are nice, especially when that's the other part. So the CBs are super duper nice. These last ones are super duper nice. I mean, again, how much more traditional can you get than that, right? It's just what it is. Got a nice thin top line. It's got a very respectable sole, and it's very radiused, right? Everything's good about this thing. The other one, again, if you see this extra line that goes right here. So imagine if you will, this line right here. And that is what this is doing down here. It's up just more built out. That's what this is going to look like. And the chroming and the coloring, the matching up is much, much nicer. So that's just what it is. However, I hit the crap out of this guy. When I tested it, I hit the snot out of it. I hit the exact middle of the club, enjoyed it profusely. But I was short because it was weak. Well, a week in comparison. So jack the loft up, good to go. And so that might be a thing going forward as well. So there's Robin saying, yep, stay warm, John, feel better, take the medicines, whatever you do, get a good night's sleep, chicken soup, the whole 9 yards. All righty, Charlie goes, oh, there goes my wallet feeling lighter. I figured you might be thinking that. And they do have I did find out, I just didn't have it, the wedges. Their wedges, the staff model wedge is pretty much the same as it was last year or this year. However, their high toe model that I saw, the high toe model looks different. Instead of being this big flat hunk of steel on the bottom, it now has a radius, and it's not as pronounced as a high toe, but it is bigger and taller. So we'll be seeing some. He said there was extra grinds. I didn't quite know if we were on the same page when we were communicating about additional grinds, but there will be additional bounces. So that's what we need to look for there. Okay. But again, I just think we're going to see a lot of good out of them. Steven says, that's what I was thinking. Well, you never know. I'm trying to work every angle I can to get them a little early. So maybe I can give you guys a little nod and say, I still couldn't be able to show it to you, but I can at least tell you what I think of the performance. Still working that one. Force fluids as much as you can, John. It will help flush it out of your system and keep you hydrated. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Charlie, trying number 1 tonight. Okay, very well done. And yep, it is. And as soon as you see the list, you'll know why I'm just saying it like that. Very well done. Glad you got started. I'm on day 15 with the seal box, and this is a hard truth, but it said 4 grain on it. It said 4 grain on the label, but in the book, it only gave me 3 grains. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm getting, but it is a bourbon. We also got, we did some hard truth over the weekend. Went there, man. That was a good time. All righty. Steven says Sunday all the courses around here were closed due to cold temps, but Saturday was nice. Was able to get 18 in, shot an 82. Well done, bud. They closed our course Saturday at 11 to put tarps on. Well, I will say this. Here in Ohio, where I'm at, they went to a level 3 snow emergency, and it starts at 1, lowest, 3 is the highest. And we got, let's say, 4 inches of snow, but it all came down in the span of, I don't know, it came down in about 5 to 6 hours, and then it stopped. And so we were traveling back from Indiana, and we got home, and it was about 2 o'clock, 2:30, 2 o'clock, and the flakes started coming down. By the time we were unpacked, by the time we got everything situated and we looked back outside, everything was covered and we already had an inch of snow. And it just kept going like that. So it had a day for recovery. Everybody was able to mosey on around. All right. Robinson, hello to Fish Mojo and Charlie and Stephen. All righty. Stephen played my local course today. High was 38. Damn, Charlie, you are a man. And with the end starting below temps, felt cooler. Did finish 18 holes. I think I shot an 85, but at least you played. Ugh. You know what? You guys need to get that Polar Bear Club, that Polar Golfer Club going on. Man, oh man. They're saying hello. Peter, hello from Myrtle Beach. No golf this past weekend. Bad weather. Was in D.C. from Sunday on. Damn cold over the next few days. But Army beat Navy. Now, I will say that was one hell of a game. Army there's no way Army should have got as close as they did. But man, oh man, that was a heck of a game. It was very, very well played. And it was just a matter of time before they broke one open, and they did. And but both teams played extraordinarily well. They played to their strengths, and it was just a matter of who wanted it the worst at the very end, and good for them. And I thought, and they did it in a pro-like manner at the very end. They had several minutes that the game had tilted their way, right? The game had tilted their way, and they could have thrown an extra one in. They just could have. I just know at my heart they could have scored one more. But they had enough time, they had enough knees, and they took the knee and they won by a point. And perfect. It was just exactly the way it should have been, particularly when Navy won. Good for us. All righty. Charlie says there's snow on the ground, but temps will rise in the upcoming days with the rain. Friday course will be ready for the weekend. Well, I can't say the same here, Charlie, although it's supposed to get back up into the 50s. Over the week, actually this Friday, but it's got to melt all the snow and it's going to get sloppy, and I'm not so certain that any of the courses would be allowed open. Phil K says, happy Monday, everybody. All right. That was a nail biter, all right, but they pulled it out. Damn, Skippy. It was a good one. Yes, it was. Like, and hit the thumbs up. Yep, everybody, if you're out there watching, please hit the thumbs up. I'm putting a book away. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that like and subscribe if you would, please. Merry Christmas, Jim and Robin, and all your viewers from John Timmons. Well, thank you, sir, and the same to you. So has everybody got their? I know we're getting close. You got about a week before things, I think you're on the ragged edge here. You've got about 2 more days of ordering by mail to make sure that he even shows up before Christmas. Is everybody ready for the holiday? Everybody got their stuff out? That's what we got to check. Does anyone see him? They closed our course due to weather being under 30 degrees. Some covered up Friday and the rest did it Saturday morning. Yep. There's Pinion Golf. What do you say, sir? Glad to see you back. Don't see Matt. He must be still doing that volleyball gig. Steven says here in Tennessee this weekend they're calling for temps in the 60s. Go figure. That's what we're seeing, Steven. We're seeing the higher temps, but I think it's just going to be sloppy. All righty. My dog Rex. Hit that thumbs up, fans. I thank you, sir, very much. Okay. Raymond Jones. He bought a pre-owned set of Callaway Maverick irons. Followed your tips on regripping clubs, and they came out great. Well, that's very cool. Bought a nice vise, clamp to hold the clubs. I'm a retired tool and model maker. Oh, well, then I know you got a vise to hold the clubs, and it won't take you too long to tool up a fast clamp. Of anybody that could do it, all you need is the starting point's a piece of angle iron, about a 4-inch angle, and then it sits like this, and then all the clamp mechanisms sit on the top, and one's a fixed jaw, the other one is a moving jaw that sits on a set of rods from the fixed jaw, and then on the back there's a half of a gear and spring loaded in order to make it happen, so that and on the moving jaw there's another post that half moon with the little cutouts on it works on, so that it can click in once it receives some resistance. Works great. But that'll be fun. I'd like to see if something like that gets made. Ram says hello, Pinion Golf. P Funk Chang, do you make like Makefield over Lab? Ooh, that's a hard question. That is a very, very hard question. For me personally, I've got both, right? I deal with Makefield, but I don't deal Lab, although I probably could, but I'm probably not gonna. As far as center shafted stuff goes, if I had the bigger variety of it, they're more towards the face balancing part of it, right? They're not the same. For instance, this was my gamer before I got into Lab, which is the original Makefield, right? And the original Makefield does a face balance maneuver. And so it feels a little different. I like this golf club. I like this putter. I could easily put it back in the bag, easily. But for years prior to, I had a putter that was Makefield, that was more balanced like the Lab, so it felt more similar. And that's the reason why I'm using it. I like the construction of this. I like what goes on in this guy, particularly with my ability to change it. But now, if you're not that type of person, and let's say you have a semi-arc or a slightly arc, they have that latest one out, and with the plumber's neck that's on it, that thing is massively soft, and it feels great to putt with that thing. It's very, very nice, and the color combinations don't hurt either. Now, as far as Lab goes, love the balance. Love that idea of the balance. I like that it stays square going back and forth, because I can control the face just maybe a tad bit more. I like the feel of it. Now, if you look at the way Lab is truly made, it's a big, not a big, but it's a small piece of steel about that big, and it's attached to the shaft. And then around it is an aluminum piece with large wings, or the big branding iron look, with all these weights that are on the outside to give you a massive MOI to help you out. So a little different version of trying to get to the same spot, right? If these guys concentrated on one and wanted to make a zero torque, we'll call it a zero torque, they could probably easily do it with a small change in their small change in the way that the orientation of the shaft or something along that lines, and they would have an outright winner right there as well. So, and who's to say that they're not going to come out with something like that? So, definitely something to look forward to. Brandon, you must have a nice collection of tools. That's what I was thinking. All righty. Thank you, sir. TZ, what's up? The only club my wife can hit is the Top Golf Easy to Hit driver. It has a 20-degree face, maybe a 500cc head, and super high core. Callaway makes this club. Any way to get something similar? Well, probably not. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out who made it, and I think maybe Callaway did it. There was now this is way back when. Remember when the core was a big deal and the CC size? They said, okay, 460 is it. Somebody came out with literally came out with a 500cc driver, and it was monstrous. And they probably could do that. Now, it's been ages since I picked up that driver. If it's the driver that's in the Top Golf, isn't it kind of heavy? It very well may be that. The 20-degree face, yeah, that sounds about right based on the type of golf ball that they're using. But you could get a 15-degree, you could get it close to a 12, maybe 14-degree face on it, so that's not too bad. The Callaway Reva has something like that. Or you can find these 12-degree clubs that are adjustable and crank it up 2 degrees. But the sheer size, it's probably the confidence in the size. And 460 is as big as it's going to get. Now, if the other part about that thing is that face has got to be massively tall in order for it to be able to swing and be able to hit. So instead of looking for a very large club that's going to have a very thin face, I would look for a club that's got a very tall face in it, and see where that one takes you. You might, man, this is digging deep. If what you're looking for, go look at Bang Golf, BANG. Look at Bang Golf. You very well may find what you're looking for there. And just they got crazy designs, and some of them are pretty damn big. And that very well may be where it's at. But go look them up, because they would probably be just exactly what you're looking for. Okay. TK, what do you say, bud? Picked out my new grips for next year, going with the CP or GP CPX. Oh, really? I call that the quilted design, and but it does have that unique texture on both sides. I don't dislike that one. Is that a double positive? I could play that one. I think I could. Helm. There's hello PF Chang. There we go. I wax my clubs about 3 or 4 times a year. Yeah. I'd be surprised what a little bit of that does. I said hello there. The NSU. Well, in mine, I see USN. No, I'm a lefty. Everything's over here. Raymond says hello. Phil K was thinking of moving to Golf Pride CP2 jumbo with a couple extra tape lower to reduce taper more. How much will the swing weight change, and would lead tape need to be required to adjust? Phil, if you're using jumbo already, not hardly anything at all. A few layers of tape isn't going to make a ginormous amount of change. However, if you've been playing with a standard grip and you're going to go to jumbo, that could be a pretty decent change. That's going to be about 20 to 25 grams of change in the back. That's about 6 swing weight points on average. Okay, about 6. Now, before you start going out and making the lead market spike by buying enough lead to make that happen, I'd go out and play it. Okay, put them on, go out and play it. Yeah, the first couple are going to feel weird. That's the idea because it's something new. But get a good round in underneath of them and just see what happens and see what you can do. Because a lot of people are just so intrigued with getting, I had D4 before, I put all this extra, I need D4 now. Not really. Okay. Now, do you need a certain feel? Yeah, you do. But do you need to get to D4 to feel that? Probably not. All right. Because it becomes a total weight issue versus a swing weight issue. You very well may be able to get away. Let's just say you like it the way it is. Perfect. Go have a day. Pardon me. Maybe you feel that it's a little bit light. Okay. Put just a couple strips on it. Take some swings, go hit it until you find that spot. Because you may find out that because if you had to go with 6 swing weight points, that's like 12 grams at the bottom. That is design adjusting kind of weight. And I just don't think you need it. And that's you're putting an extra 12 grams at the bottom when you just put an extra 24 to 25 at the top. So you just put almost 40 grams worth of weight into this club. And that's not the idea, right? The idea is to get up there. Now, if you're leaving standard or even mid-size and you want to go to jumbo, you might consider some other ones that may not be as heavy, but those tend to be synthetic grips, not rubber. That could be problematic. James Geiger, only Wilson club I ever had was a killer whale. That was a bad club, man. With a fire stick shaft. Very popular club back in the day. John Daly made it famous. You're right. Because of the long drives he used to hit with it. He used to kill it, right? When that club would come all the way back into here and he would just whip it around. You're exactly right, sir. James Geiger, hello. There's Krister. We got a status on them irons yet? I'm really wanting to see it. Somewhere along the lines, we're gonna have to see a posting of that. I wish I could post something on here. Alrighty, new clubs. Charlie and I are right on there. He says, Charles, yes, he got the new Orcas yesterday. Tested them for an hour in TrackMan, and they are awesome. Alrighty then. All right. Orca RS10s. Now, the funny part is a lot of the stuff that he talks about are specific to the UK or European Union, where he gets some of his stuff. Now, of course, we see Titleist and that kind of stuff, but the other stuff like the One Club and all that stuff, that's over there. And I feel it's a lot of fun in the fact that that he's got an Orca, and I was able to watch these guys start off, and they always had a really good product. They never really got any traction. And when people hit them, they're like, "Oh wow, that's a really good club." But short of that, it was almost cult following kind of stuff. as opposed to, hey, wow, look at this thing. It really gets out there. But yeah, I'm glad that you like them. I really do. I'm glad you like them. Post a thing on your Instagram so I can see them and see how well the guys did. That's great. I'm glad that you like it. So what'd you end up with? Did you go four through gap wedge? What was the setup for it? I hear subpar rounds coming your way. Me too. Me too. I wish. The way he works out at it, probably will. There are more to golf than new irons. Truly, you got to get that chipping down too, man. You got to get that chipping down. Let's see some of that. Fish Mojo says best thing about launching new clubs is the previous models get discontinued. You wouldn't be wrong there. Now, I will say that I didn't see the Wilson stuff. A lot of these companies, if they're planning it correctly, Fish, is that they're almost out of them. So the last thing that they've got, it's actually not very many, right? Not very many whatsoever. Now, what I've seen is, and I believe both Callaway and TaylorMade are going to do, is, well, at least I know Callaway is going to do this, is that you are going to see, most likely, I think we're going to see the elite model is going to disappear. It's not going to be the second tier like they've done in the past, right? Where they've gone and they've said, yeah, okay, last one, that's going to be the discounted model, just like you're counting on. What I think we're going to see now is that the revival of the smoke irons. I think we're going to see some of that, and I think we're going to. So it's going to be a change in the business model, to be honest with you. So that one's going to be a little different. All right, let's do this on here. Okay. And I think we're going to see that in some other ones. That these last generation, I don't think that they had a very good year in the irons, the top tier guys. So there you go. Fish wants to know what I'm drinking. So the first one was I got the Seal Box Advent calendar, and it comes in these guys. And this one was a Hard Truth 4-grain bourbon. However, that's what it said on the label. But when you go to read it and you see it in the book, it only gave you 3 grains. So I don't know what I was getting. And it was 100 proof, which I believe the actual real 4-grain might be a little higher. So this might be some kind of hybrid of what's going on out there. However, I do have a spare, and the spare is James Pepper bourbon. So the bottled and bond, it really is. That's one of my favorites. That thing is the James Pepper bottled and bond bourbon. You can't go wrong with that one. Okay. Charlie says, Krister, think of it this way. The closer you hit to the hole, the fewer putts. That's what I was thinking. And he agrees. Steven says, I was at the show 2 years ago, and Wilson was not there. You are correct. I'm really looking forward to seeing the new irons and as he's playing the staff irons. Well, Steve, I don't expect to see him again this year. They might have, and I think what they've done in the past is that they may have had a place for you to meet people, but it was more of a professional. The people that came in to make orders. It's not like being in the booth. It's not that same idea. And so I'm not sure, and it's not even verified yet either. So they may not, who knows. It would be nice to see him there again, but I wouldn't expect it. And the staff irons, the current staff irons, these ones that I was showing you, very nice to be sure. I wouldn't throw them away. The other ones just have a cool factor about them that's just really hard to beat. There you go. I believe Charlie's playing them too. Just can't wait to see the Wilson's new putter. I'm using the Odyssey Square to Square. Actually, probably the only non-Wilson club in the bag. Well, the funny part is you could probably sell off the Odyssey Square to Square and have enough money to go buy a brandy new Wilson. That's a reality. Peter says they closed all the golf courses today. Well, when you get into the teens down there, who would want to play in that stuff anyway? I thought that wind blowing when we were down there with you at the 30 to 40 degrees was enough. No, I'm done with that. Got down to 12 here last night. We got into single digits, Charlie. When I got up and I was in the truck this morning, it was 7. All right. Jesse's in the house. Hoping everybody's doing good. Same to you, sir. She said 0. I saw 7. I saw 2. Here's run back. Peter saying, you know what is seeing snow is when you're at the airport waiting to catch your flight home. Yes, we did that. Actually, we got caught in the snow here in Columbus on the way down to the PGA show, and we watched him throw that fluid on the wings to make it so that they wouldn't ice up, and did it 3 times and then canceled the damn flight. So yeah, I don't know. Golf Addicts back. How you doing? Oh, what do we got here? Oh, no. Tried out the PXG Lightning driver in Woods and fell in love with them. Now going to sell off the 35s face and replace them with new PXGs. Easiest clubs. Oh, no. Oh, no. Even after all that good golf that you played. Well, good for you. I'm glad you find something else that you liked. But wow. Good. That's cool. You like the other ones better? I thought the previous models had a more aggressive face, to be sure. But I think these will turn out to be pretty decent. Honestly, I think I could probably hit the high toe. And if I didn't like it enough, I could always grind off a little bit of the back end. Easiest club to hit, bar none for him. Well, good job, dude. Where in the devil did they show up at that? Is an indoor thing going on? Because I know you guys were cold. By the way, hi all. How are you? Cheers and Merry Christmas. Well, that was one hell of a lead-in, guy. Going from, hey, I like B&G, Merry Christmas. Well done. All righty. All right, let's see what do we got here? 5 iron 193, 6 iron 186, 7 iron 171, 131. Dude, those are some stellar numbers. Some stellar numbers all in all. I like that. I like that a lot. Those are good numbers for you. Let's see. We got 6 yards. No, I'm not a fan of that one. 115 or 15 yards. And then 16 yards. So you got some sharpening up to do. Here we go. Back to, you got like this 15-yard gap on them. I wonder I'd have to see what the loft angles are on them just to make sure. And see how far apart. Did they space them on you? Because I was thinking, man, you could take that and go about another, strengthen them a degree, man. It would be a whole different ball game for you. Floyd Hammett says, still playing Wilson golf blades with a modified DD5 driver with a shaft adapter for 335 shaft. Wilson is good as what you're Wilson is good as what you're sipping. I have no doubt in my mind. It's you know what? If we could just figure out how to get them over the top, I'm finding that the hybrid is working as well as anything else. Their fairway woods are now all adjustable, so that's a little different. So they're the carbons and they're adjustable. So yeah, I'm hopefully we see a plus there, because I think what happened way back in the day. Callaway was all that. They were leading the pack. They were doing everything they could do, and then they blinked. They came out with a club that was, we'll say, average. I mean, it was good, but it was average, not what you were used to from them. And then TaylorMade jumped the shark with the white driver, and all of a sudden they're in the lead. And now it was all about this contest of who can get back up to number one. And depending on who you talk to, right, it would be now it's brand loyalty now. But what I think is we saw a bit of a downturn this year, and so we're going to see companies positioning themselves. Sorry about this. Positioning themselves so that they can survive that downturn, and so the companies that were stoic in the last year will probably end up getting a little bit bigger piece of that, but that is yet to say. Those are some good yardages, aren't they? He's throwing it out there. He was tired when he hit the 5-iron last 4 minutes earlier. He averaged 190 yards. That sounds more right. 200-yard 5-iron, and we're not talking, these clubs are not jacked up either. So he's killing it. What is worse than seeing snow? Seeing it when when you're ready to hit when you're at the airport waiting to catch your flight home. No kidding. I almost said it. No kidding. Yep, that one's that's not fun. Hello from frozen Texas from Mr. Three Putt. Love the show. Sorry I've been gone for a while. Doing college tours for my daughter to go play on a golf team on one of them. Well, good for you, dude. Hopefully she's very successful and she gets a good education from it. Like to see that. There we go with that. There we go with that. There we go with that. Peter, did you get home on time? Yeah, that's a good question. Saying hello to John. And he didn't. The first flight was canceled. My second was delayed. Didn't get home till 10 p.m. 14 hours in the airport. Yeah, that'll make you get kind of weirded out. You get to see all kinds of walks of life, particularly when you're coming out of, I imagine it was Dulles or something like that. Yep, I agree. Thanks for the shout out. No problem. What model bending bar do I use? Brett, the model bending bar was one. I still have. I have two of them. It's the original bending bar that came with the original Mitchell machine, and what it is, it's got the place that holds the shaft, right? And it's an adjustable. It's got a little adjustable screw at the end, so the jaws close down onto the club. That's what I use, and it's got a 2.5 foot, maybe more. Length. It's about, well, you can't see it in this thing here. It's about that long, right? It's about that long, and it's heavy, and that's what helps you bend it very, very well. The little ones, you don't want. If you're looking at a bending bar, you don't want a little one. There's no help with a little one unless you're using it on a putter. But if you're going for irons or even fairway woods or that kind of stuff, you want a big one. And a heavy one, because that will help you bend it and give you the feel you're looking for. And has the Santa hat on. I'll tell her thank you. I had to go to the internet for this one. I have such a big head, and I ordered it, and it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger. Yeah, it's bigger. And I could pull this thing down around my head all the way down. It's that big, but It is. You get what you can get. Robin says, hello, Brett. Robin saying hi to Anna. 3 degrees, 3 days ago it was minus 28 where the Golf Attic is at up in Canada. Today it's 9. Crazy weather. We get the Chinooks now and then. That's a good one. Okay. I noticed a change in the product when the member of Golf Spy left. That was Harry and went to work for Wilson. His buddies laughed at him on the No Putts Given podcast. Who's laughing now? Yeah, I don't know. So, Floyd, there was a pretty good shakeup in there when Tim Clark left. And a guy named Thurman, who was head of R&D, took over for him. And I got to meet him. I did a video with him when my voice was all jacked up. And super nice guy. And this guy's got to be, dangerously smart because apparently he also helps out in the R&D section of the other sports divisions. And this guy is running the golf group. Now he has some really, really good guys in John Burgundy helping him out, and so they've been. I think they basically been cut loose from some creativity that they weren't allowed to have before, and now we're starting to see the fruits of that labor. Right, fruits of that labor. Now Harry's kind of a go-between between the tour and the R&D people, so that the how they want to see some different changes in these players' clubs, so that they would like to see them. Plus, he gets to add in his own little bit of a flair. So he's actually sitting in a pretty good job right now. But I'd agree. They thought he was going to Wilson, and Wilson was just so blasé. But now it's a little different. Golf Addict is a Arctic exposure. Okay, it is. I'm backwards. I've always been backwards. You know that. I can't believe you're even telling me that. Let's see if I can flip it here. I will unmirror the camera. There. How's that? Now the USN looks like NSU to me. Let it sit there for a minute and see if it catches up. They are showing the new Wilson blades and CBS irons on my Golf Spy. Oh my gosh. Well, they're not supposed to. I ought to look that up. Where at on my Golf Spy? Let's see. Let's try that and get on here. I wonder where they're, because they're not supposed to be letting it out. Yeah, I don't need that. Ben Hogan. I don't see any of that stuff, but new Honmas are out. All right, let's do a quick search. Let's see what they find. Oh, they took a new raw wedge, and the next one is about Wilson Golf, and it's the same one. Let's see what they've got in here. One last one, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, this is the only thing I see so far, unless it's in the forum and somebody's doing it. Let's go into there and see what they see. Okay. Most wanted testing is underway. And Wilson Vice, they're talking about it. Let's see what he says. See, Nozzle, I played golf with him. He's got a swing speed about 91 to 93. He doesn't say too much. He's not done doing it. Uh-oh. Does it look as good as the one in the photos? That's a good one. I don't know. I'd have to do a lot more look. Okay. It says, plus it was windy and chill. Minus 36. Dude, by minus 36, I wouldn't even think about looking outside. Kevin Johnson says, reshafting the ZX4s with tapered Axiom 75s. If adding a tip weight is needed in the shaft and in the base of the weight is a 1/8 inch of a tip. Wait a minute. If adding a tip weight is needed in the shaft and the base of the weight is 1/8 inch, do I taper the 1/8 of an inch? You could. Now, you got to keep in mind, though, the axioms. How do we do this? I can't remember the axioms. You want to be very careful before you start this process, Kevin, because the axiom tip diameter may not take the tip of the weight. So you got to be careful with that. Okay. You want to make sure you want to just get you a standard tip weight and check it out. I know the MMTs don't, and I'm almost certain the axioms don't either. And you got to check that one. And the last but not least on this is the ZX4, although all the other Srixon product, I believe, is tapered. I don't know if that's a good question. I'm not certain if the ZX4s are tapered. They may or may not be. So when you go to fit that shaft in there and it starts wiggling around a little bit, chances are it's parallel and you're going to need a shim. So you're going to do a lot of dry fitting first to make sure you're okay. Okay. So before you do that, you want to do that. Shout out to the no pause king for Wilson. Yeah. There we go. Exposed skin can suffer freezing. Yes, it can. Oh, so you're playing the mids now. Okay. So going up to that one, it's probably about 10. Yeah, about 10 grams. That's only 2 swing weight points. Honestly, I wouldn't even sweat it, Phil. I wouldn't sweat it a bit. I'd go to the bigger grips. You'll be more concerned about the size of the grip than you will be the way that it feels. I wouldn't sweat it one drop. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that cold is dangerous. Robin saying hello to everybody. Florida, I like the grip on the Maker's Mark bottle. The red one. Last time we were out, Robin found a slam dunk for me on a 46 cast strength. I was like, man, good eye. She saw it was about 2 bottles deep. So we ended up walking out with that one. All right. Hello, brainwaves. Look at that. Floyd. Yep. 5 through the pitch and wedge. Okay. If you're more of an iron guy, I would have said carry the 4, but at 200 for the 5, that's pretty healthy. I mean, that's a good 5 iron to be sure, particularly at those types of clubs. If you're at where you're playing with, if you found yourself hitting 200-yard shots, just to ensure that you would make it, I might jack the loft maybe just 1 degree and just making sure that's over the top. Okay, Kevin Johnson, what's your thoughts on weakening lofts 2 degrees on Srixon irons? How will that affect the bounce on their sole? Well, hold on. Just so happens I have one. Now, the real problem here, Kevin, is that Srixon is not a traditional sole. It uses the V sole, okay? And what I mean by the V sole is exactly what you see. Right up the middle, there is a high bounce on the front and a low bounce on the back. So if you're going to weaken the club, basically what happens is you're going to go this way, and I'm going to get exaggerating so you can see it, but you see what happens to this sole when you go back like this. That means the leading edge is going to come up a little bit. Now, if you're a person that takes a fairly decent sized divot, that's a bonus for weakening it, okay? A bonus, because you're not gonna, it's gonna not want to dig, okay? And when you weaken it, you're gonna hit the ball up in the air a little bit more, kind of turning the thing into a high launch club. That's not a bad thing either, depending on your swing speed. Now, the opposite can be true. If you're a big time, if you're a guy that hits skull shots or hits balls thin, that could be a negative adjustment for you. You have to be careful. Now, the whole premise here is that when this is not working and you get into some thick or you get into some gooey kind of situation like a lot of rain, that kind of stuff, what happens is this front edge starts digging, but then the back edge starts engaging and wanting to bounce you out. When you go to tip it backwards, this back edge, this trailing edge is going to want to engage faster. So again, if you're kind of a sweeper of the ball, that back end is going to catch and want to throw you forward. It's going to could feel kind of weird. So without seeing how you swing and all that other stuff, I would put your clubs together and then just strengthen one. Just strengthen one and just hit it and see if you hit it well. If you hit it well, then do all the rest. No, you just like the candle wax on the cork. No doubt in my mind. You can't go wrong with a little bit of makers anyway. BC Ping Man, what do you say, bud? Season's greetings from upstate South Carolina. Nice hat. Merry Christmas. Well, thank you, and Merry Christmas to you too. In my next, I don't know if I should show you this or not. Robin will probably get mad at me. But let's see. Yeah, this is it right here. So I wonder if I can make it go that way. There we go. So look at this. I had this made. Here we go. Look at that. Now there's some music in the background. I just took it off. Now I also, while I was doing it, I also had a McGolf one made as well. Here we go. Check this one out. I'm going to put the sound on this one. Check this one out. That was cool. They were having a Black Friday thing on some guy just doing some logos, and I figured I'd throw him a little bit, and I got some really cool stuff, so I like that. No doubt. Robin saying hello. I was in the basement yesterday and pulled out my old Power-Built persimmon woods with the steel shafts. My, do they look small now. Oh, my gosh, yes. I used to have a Woodwood up here just to show the differences, and man, oh man, they are different. And it was funny when they went from wood to steel, the heads actually got smaller. So just think about what technology has done today. Yeast wasn't counted. Jay, I bet they look like hybrids. I bet they look smaller. Yeah, see, there you go. Pretty cool. I think I know the fourth grain. It's the wood in the barrel. Yeah. Some of the, normally what they do is they'll go corn, rye, wheat, and barley is typically what happens. Sometimes it's a little bit of a mixture, but I just think it's a printing error. I've got some of the four grain up on a shelf. It's actually pretty good bourbon. Just the confusion in it. Jim, have they changed to metal forging in the new Wilson irons? What I mean by that is the type combination of steel used. He did not mention any of that, Charlie. He did not mention any of that. And I don't know if he knew or not. But I do have the book. If Miss Robin was here, she could show me the book. I can't show you the pictures, but I could read some of it. So if you're down here, Mrs. McDolph, I'd like to see the book. Maybe we can answer Charlie's question. There we go. MLH, men's left hand. Happy holidays. Love your channel. Planning any changes to your sim setup this year? No. I actually the change I'm going to make is actually using more of it as a sim. I did that stint over in the Trail Hotel where they had a simulator, and I'm really kind of taken back by that. They had it was not the Foresight. What was the name of that thing? Thank you. What was the name of what was that? Did I wake you up?
No, I'm on the couch.
Oh, okay.
Come down here.
I've been talking nice about you.
Not much. No.
Oh, yes, I have. Look, nice.
I hear you.
Yeah. She told me she was number one. I was number one in her book. All righty, let's see. Brush satin finish, modern blade design, 8620. That's all I got, Charlie. 26 and 48, 5 to pitch. Same thing here. 26 to 48 on the cavity back. And the other one, the XB model. Sleek hollow body design, maximums forgiveness and distance. And it is a 2025 and 46. I wouldn't say that's a huge amount. I think maybe we have to strengthen that a little bit to get into the 790 realm. However, it's very close to the in line with the Mizuno stuff. And they do have an RB utility iron. And they have a 2, a 3, and a 4, 18, 21, and 24. Lefties are only in the 3 and the 4. But it's a good look too. Although I couldn't hit it, but that's just what it is. And for your Dynaforge folks, 24.5 and 44. So just a slight bit, it's just a slight more stronger. Now I will say they've also picked a different shaft. The driver shaft for them going forward is the link shaft in the driver. So I have to see that. And they also have a cavity-backed wedge called the Infinite. That's another one. Looking at all these different ones. This high toe the high toe is very basic. 5610, 6010, 6410. So if you're looking for a 64-degree wedge, we got it. All righty. So very cool. I wish I could show you this thing, but I can't. I gotta stay true to my word. So it is what it is. Integrity is everything. Still use on occasion the old Wilson Triton driver. The Triton had some good in it, some bad. I was telling him, I said that driver versus driver program was a marketing genius. I just wish they would have came out with something that was really good. I mean, like earth-shattering good, not just, hey, it's a neat idea, but I mean just rocked everybody's world. But it just didn't occur. Where are the white flight windows? Let's find out. Okay, Wilson Convert here. Absolutely stoked about their new clubs coming out. They are on their way up again. I hope so. They're just doing really, really well. And there we go. Robin saying hello. She's keeping up with it. Very good. Some folks take golf serious. If you want humor from Florida, I'll chime in more frequently. Dude, we're all about having fun here. We're about having serious fun. How's that? Oh, man. Yep, we do. You see what area of Florida, too. All righty. Do you like the 1-year cycle the new clubs Callaway are taking, or the 2-year cycle that Ping and Titleist have? No, dude, the 1 year kind of caught me by surprise because they've been very, very adamant about the 2-year cycle. Now, what you saw is that Callaway and TaylorMade had such a huge stable of golf clubs that they would have like their player stuff and then their average player or their flagship stuff, and then they would shift every year so that every 2 years you got that change. Now what happens in these other clubs, they don't have all of that. Now you look at Titleist, they got 4 or 5 drivers. I mean, come on, right? But Ping has been very stoic. They've had their three, maybe 4 clubs. It's in the line. Every 2 years it changes. 1 year's woods, 1 year's irons. Done. Very, very straightforward. And I think the consumer really appreciates that, to be sure. But the biggest thing, and I try to preach to the people, is don't get hung up in the need to get the latest and greatest, only because the latest and greatest may not be for you, right? If you're playing a bunch of Apexes or a bunch of I think it's like a TS2 or any of that kind of stuff, and they come out with these new super forgiving clubs and you don't need them, then you don't need to buy them. Still an issue from my view. Really? Well, now an issue. I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's because you're looking behind me. That's why. Okay. So there we go. What's the best stiff driver shaft for 60 grams? Henry Tutton wants to know. Best stiff shaft for 60 grams. Oh, let's see. Well, so let's put them in a couple categories. If you're going the exotic way, my favorite in the 60 gram category for stiff would be the Shogun. The thing feels amazing, right? If you're looking for, keep the ball flight down, the Shogun Red, right? It's an incredible, it's kind of a maroon. I think that thing, bang for buck, is by far, in the way that it's made, best on the planet. Okay. But it's pricey. It's in that 350, 400 range, which honestly, some of the bigger names are like that too. Graphite Design has got a couple that are higher still. But from a 60 gram perspective, I would like that one. We call it middle of the road, right? Middle of the road kind of stuff. I would look at maybe the Graphite Design and the Tour AD and the orange. That seems to be middle ground. It's in that, and the price is in that same category, right? That would be that. And then if you were looking for an economy type shaft, I would try the GolfWorks stock model. They've got one in there that's a stiff one. I don't like it per se, but as far as a very inexpensive one, that was where I would go with, right? There's a couple models in the elite section. You could go with I'm looking at them. It's kind of funny. The Denali blue, not the black, but the Denali blue is an upper tier. It's a very nice shaft as well, right? I've seen that one work and work very well. They come in different colors, but if you're a stronger golfer, the blue is the way to go. Another one that gets into the middle tier is the Project X, depending on your color, but the Project X has always been top notch in the way that it's been built. And then Mitsubishi in their new, they came out back, they went old school with the blue board and the white board and the red board. The blue board's middle of the road as far as the profiles for them. It's a little higher priced, but it is what it is. And then again, down in the next tier down, the KBS driver shaft would probably be it. I still have a set of Wilson gooseneck irons, 2 through the wedge for practice. Good on you, dude. Hello. And Henry says Merry Christmas, and the same to you, sir. Thanks for answering my questions, Jim. No problem. And Merry Christmas. Same to you. Merry Christmas to you guys. Are you going to go live next Monday, the week of Xmas? I certainly am. It's the following week that might be problematic. We are taking a week. Robin and I are taking a week off to celebrate the anniversary. It's not nothing monumental. It just happened to fall in that we could do it. And but we'll see. I was thinking about taking the computer, so maybe we will. First day in that, we will be down in Tennessee. So we'll see. Null line is very clean and sharp. It is, Miss Robin, or did you get the Manscaped sponsorship? Oh, no. He's already on it. Mom Santa is drunk again. No, not yet, but I'm working on it. Stephen, I'm guessing yes to Christmas week, but we'll be traveling the 29th, so not sure. So, yeah, I'm probably going to take the gear, and we're just going to see how it flows. If bad weather's in, then probably. If it's not, and we're out and about, probably not. But we will certainly make the commitment to be sure. The biggest thing is about our ability to get good internet, because this relies on heavily a good fast internet connection in order to at least show stuff for you. And sometimes it doesn't work out like that. So if it's good internet, then yeah. Thanks, by the way. You're more than welcome, sir. Jim, did you clean up, Jim, or did he get the Manscaped early for Christmas? Nope, buddy. That's just the natural beauty of me. BC is here. All right. We say, Barry. Here we go. Thomas Vaughn is here. Oh, we're getting all the good guys at the very end here, right? There's Charlie. That was 5 books ago. All right, I'm going to get Manscaped sent a Jim product. You never know. Oh, Jesus. 5610 sounds interesting. Yeah, from the high toe stuff, and I do like it. It's been revamped. It's a much nicer looking club. It still has an aggressive face on it. So it's a ball spinner to be sure. New DCT Black Wilson. Oh, Washawn's new DC good value. I don't know. I would have anything that Washawn does is a good value, to be honest with you. Is it moving now? It sure is. Just right out of the blue. There we lock it in. All righty. We're getting down to the bottom here. Yeah, is the DCT Black a good value? Is that what you're telling? If you're asking, the answer is I don't know what the price is, but the stuff that he makes that they have made is always going to work, right? It's always going to work if it fits, and he always makes good stuff. So, yeah. Now keep in mind, anything that's black in a covering, no matter what it is, it'll eventually wear. So if you're one of those guys that does not like that kind of worn look, then I would not get it. But if you want to show it off that you're hitting in the center of the club, then by all means get a hold of it. There he goes, welcome, and there we go. We will be in Chattanooga. Oh, okay, that's where we're going to be. Okay. Well, guys, we made it past 7 o'clock talking about all this stuff. Very good. Oh, all righty, guys. So thank you for attending. Thank you for asking me the questions. Don't be afraid to show up next Monday. Hit that like and subscribe. If you're interested in that whiskey golf-centric channel, come over to Pars and Pours and join us over there. And again, I want you to make sure that you guys, make sure you reach out there and get those Christmas gifts. And remember the real reason for the holiday. And as always, let's see your scores go low.